Imagine going to organize your closet, but instead of having to measure for containers at the store, you can just go to your computer and put the size you want and print them out right there. HowStuffWorks.com says that this technology may be even closer than you think thanks to 3D printing. 3D printing makes it easier and faster to produce objects, and soon it's going to be affordable enough to have at home. So understanding how 3D printing works will allow users to be able to utilize the technology, and it will educate them on its benefits and all the things that it can do for them. I have researched 3D printing, watched videos, read materials on the process, how it works, and all the different components involved. So today I'll be educating you on the technology, terminology, the structure of 3D printers, and the process of 3D printing. So first I'm going to give a broad overview of the 3D printing process and illustrate the big picture. And then I'm going to define some terms that are related to 3D printing. And then I'm going to explain some new technologies that most people aren't going to be familiar with, but that are used in 3D printing. And then third, I'm going to give an overview of all software and hardware that you're going to need for 3D printing and explain the different components involved. So there are many components and pieces that are necessary in order to complete the process. So as shown in this diagram, you can see that there are several parts to 3D printing, and the process is kind of a lot like making a loaf of sliced bread, but in reverse. So much like reading a recipe, you're going to begin 3D printing by designing a model on a software computer program. Then you're going to mix all the ingredients together, and you're going to send it to your printer and choose your materials from the list. And then, just like baking each individual slice of bread and then gluing them back together to make a whole loaf, this is how the 3D printing process is going to work. It's going to make each layer of the end product one at a time, and then they'll all be stuck together to make the final product. So as you can see in the illustration, once printing is completed, then you have your final product. Now that you see the big picture, we can take a look at each individual step and understand all the different components involved that make up the process. So due to 3D printing being a new technology, there's a lot of terms that most people aren't going to be familiar with. So CAD stands for Computer Aided Design, and that's the computer-generated sketch of the object that you're going to print. Rapid prototyping is developing models and prototypes in a faster method, so days rather than weeks or months that it would normally take. And acrylonitrile butane styrene is the thermoplastic ink that printers use. So now that we can kind of understand some of those terms, we can examine the software and hardware that you're going to need. So essentially 3D printing is made up of two parts, software and hardware. And first, the software that you're going to need is used to generate the computer-aided design. So 3dprinting.com explains that this file is created using a 3D modeling application, and that there's many different forms that this can come in. There's industrial grade, more personal use. Industrial grade are ones that can cost up to $1,000 a year, and they're for bigger companies, but there's also free ones that you can download online. So once you obtain the appropriate software for what you're going to be doing, now you're going to need the hardware. So just like normal printers, there's tons of different types and brands of 3D printers. PC Magazine explains that they come in a variety of styles and can be used to optimize whatever your audience or your actual project is. So there's also a wide range of prices and expense when it comes to these printers. You can get a low-end 3D printer for less than $4,000, but higher end can range anywhere from $25,000 to $500,000, depending on how sophisticated the machine is and what all you want it to do. So not only are you going to be required to have the printer itself, but then you also need the ink, essentially. So 3D printers use an ink, and it's called filament, and it's actually a plastic. And as you can see in the picture, they come on spools just like thread would in tons of different colors. So PC Magazine says that the two most common are ABS and PLE. So, and then also on PCMagazine.com, you can see that there's a different price range for these as well, anywhere from $20 to $50 per kilogram of this filament. But technically, You can actually use any material that can melt and then harden and set quickly. Explain.Stock.com actually talked about researchers at an England university who unveiled a prototype printer that printed using molten chocolate. So that's pretty cool. But typically you're going to use just a plastic to make the object that you want. So you start the process by designing the 3D model on the computer, and then the computer is going to generate this 3D model process by a process called slicing. So 3dprinting.com explains what this is. It's dividing a 3D model into hundreds or thousands of horizontal layers. So once the model is sliced, then you feed it to your printer. You can do this using USB or Wi-Fi. IndependentCo.com says that the next step in the process is turning the whole object into thousands of these tiny little pieces, making it starting at the bottom, and then they make a layer slice by slice, and then they are stuck together to make the final product. So as you can see in the illustration, it's going to print one layer at a time, and then it waits for this layer to dry, and then it adds to this layer on top, and then it just goes layer by layer until you actually form the solid object. So the technology is still really new, and the opportunities are still being explored of what you can actually do with 3D printing. But what has already been discovered is quite astonishing and actually really incredible. So today I hope that I've helped you better understand 3D printing and defined and given some shared meaning to the terminology that's associated with it, and explain kind of some of the new technologies that have been developed in order to make 3D printing possible. I've also outlined the different necessary software and hardware that you're going to need and demonstrated the actual process as a whole and how 3D printing truly works. 3D printing is quickly developing technology, and like I said before, it's really quite astonishing what we've already discovered that we can do with it, and the advantages that there are for everyday consumers and the potential that it has for the future is incredible. It's very safe, small, easy to use, and reliable. You can use it in classrooms or at home, in the office. Really, the possibilities are endless. And from my research, I found some things that they're looking into, anywhere from medicine to defense to aerospace. So finally, 3D printing will increase productivity, and it's going to make your costs smaller because it's going to be easier to produce the things that we want to produce. So that's 3D printing for you. I hope you have a better understanding of how it works, and I hope that it gives you some excitement for the future and the things that we're going to be able to do with 3D printing. Thank you.